In a bright learning hall aboard a drifting academy station, a young cadet named Lyra sat with calm eyes while a glowing panel projected the face of an ancient human commander. Silver hair and steady gaze drew whispers from alien students around her, and as the lesson began with the instructor explaining that this figure once led a fragile species through a war that reshaped the spiral worlds, Lyra smiled softly because the image was not just history but her own grandfather, and while others saw a relic, she remembered a man who used to tell stories about earth winds and old rivers and stubborn hope. And as the room filled with alien murmurs, some curious and some doubtful, the instructor spoke about how this commander rallied a scattered fleet of human ships against a far stronger empire using nothing but clever tactics and unbreakable will, and how his words lit fire in crews that had never met before, and how his plans turned weakness into advantage and fear into resolve. And Lyra watched every alien face change as the story grew larger and brighter, and she knew that this was the moment when truth quietly walked into myth, because the commander in the image was not a legend to her, but a gentle man who used to carry her on his shoulders and laugh when she asked too many questions. And the lesson continued with recordings of battles showing human ships moving like flowing water around massive enemy lines, and the instructor said that humans were known for something the galaxy still struggled to understand, which was their refusal to surrender even when logic said they should. And Lyra felt pride rise in her chest as she remembered how her grandfather once said that being human meant standing up, not because victory was certain, because giving up was not an option. And while the lesson explained how the commander sacrificed his own ship to protect a convoy of refugees, Lyra felt tears warm her eyes, because she knew how that story ended not with death but with survival and quiet recovery far from the spotlight. And as alien students leaned forward, drawn by the bravery of a species once considered weak, Lyra finally spoke and said that the commander was her grandfather, and the room fell silent with surprise and curiosity spreading like light. And she told them how he taught her to listen before acting, how he believed even the smallest voice could change a battle, and how he always said that humans were not strong because of their weapons, but because of their hearts. And the instructor allowed her to continue sensing the rare truth unfolding, and Lyra described how after the war, her grandfather returned to a simple home on a blue-green world where he planted trees and told stories to children, and how he believed the future was something to nurture, not control. And the alien students began to see humans not just as fighters, but as caretakers of hope and memory. And when the lesson ended, the glowing image faded, but its meaning stayed alive in every mind, and Lyra walked out into the wide corridor of the station, carrying both pride and gentle sadness, knowing that her grandfather had become a symbol far greater than himself, and yet still just a man who loved his family and believed in kindness. And as she looked out at the stars, she felt that humanity would always move forward, not because it was the strongest, but because it remembered where it came from and who it was fighting for.